Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Jack's Coffee Break. We are here in the Void Menagerie. Right now we are looking over our sloth bear habitat that we built last episode, and we're here for two reasons. A, I like to give a little refresher in case you missed last episode, just so you know where to click on the playlist since I don't label these with numbers or anything. But the other reason why is because these guys are getting some neighbors today. So I'm up here on this balcony, and last episode we set aside three little spots for us to build in. So this first one where we built our sloth bear habitat, we've got that far one over there that hasn't been designated yet, and then we've got this little like gulch valley thing over here, right? So if we go ahead and just walk over here, come down the stairs a little bit, you'll see that this is the area that we're going to be working in today. So when we spun the wheel last week, at the end of the episode, as we do every episode, we got two animals this time. So we got I want to say the brown snake, and we got the domestic pig. So I'm going to need to double check the snake just to be sure. But as you can see, this is kind of an empty area. But my editor, suggested that we build the pig area through here and then have it be like a muddy gulch that the pigs can enjoy for themselves and run around in. I thought that would be really cute. So we're going to play with that idea today. Of course, we need to look into our little zoopedia. So we're going to be working with the Tamworth domestic pig. And if it sounds like I'm a little distracted, it's because I am. We just got the kitten fixed and he's a little bit disoriented. So they are currently distributed worldwide, but they originate in Europe. Their biomes are temperate, grassland, and taiga. So we will be spinning the wheel as per usual in order to figure out, like, what we should be leaning most heavily into for this. Kind of give us an idea of what our palette needs to be. And then we will go from there. The other one, however, since it's a exhibit animal, we're actually going to be installing it over in here. Trying to flesh out this building a little bit, make it look just a little nicer than it does right now. Maybe a lot nicer, because it's kind of rough in there as it is. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start getting the groundwork laid out. Ooh. Yeah, get some groundwork laid out, and we got to go spin that wheel too, so I'll meet you over there. Okay, so we've got our wheel set up. We've got the grassland, the temperate, and the taiga zones. So let's go ahead and see what the primary theme of this habitat is going to be in terms of our foliage. Looks like we're working with temperate. Excellent. Okay. Cool. Cool. I think that's going to be pretty easy for us to work with then. It'll be a nice classic habitat. Okay, so we have this little gallery down here. This buys us a couple of spaces for any more exhibit animals we might possibly get. Just like 3 more. And I figure this'll be like just a nice little decorative area. It's raised just a little bit so that way you can actually come up and really see the snakes. There's not that ugly border that they normally have. But yeah, so here's our eastern brown snake. He's pretty cool. And for those of you who are afraid of snakes, I'll stop looking at that. I'm not. And I sometimes forget that other people are. I like snakes. I think they're cool. I respect that you might disagree. So we're going to move on. I'm going to fix this real quick. Because this little wall, if I don't fix it now, I never will. So let's see here. Sandstone brick. That'll do it. Okay, that looks much better. Good. Okay, so now we can start on the actual main attraction. Let's go ahead and get working on this habitat here. So I think the first thing we need to do is bring down the rock work from up here through this ledge. We need to get the barriers mapped, so that way we know that we're giving them the right amount of space. So this might be too small. We might need to work on it a little bit. So let's just go ahead and get this taken care of. No, I don't think I actually want them to be 20 meters long. Yeah, so I think right there. Okay, so the barrier is all done. We do have a little bit of editing we need to do, but thankfully this can all be finished with rock work and all that, so not too terribly difficult to clean up. Plus, hopefully, It should give us access to this far one over here when we're ready for that, so not quite there yet. That'll be next episode, probably. So we've got a land area of 1,008, which for our Tamworth pigs is more than enough. So an individual needs 290. Typically in a group they like between 1 and 5, so it's not going to be too many this time around. Might argue that we have just generally too much land for them. Yeah, 370. But once again, having that much extra space gives us plenty of budget, essentially, for us to just sort of go crazy. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get the rock work down so that way this doesn't look so, well, terrible. It looks terrible. Let's fix it. Alrighty, so now the preliminary rock work is done, we've got some texturing, and I've altered this pathway a little bit so that way you can actually come down closer to the pigs, because right now, the other path is just a little bit too high up. So this is what we're working with. Of course, we're going to beautify it. So while I'm waiting for the pigs to get in, I'm going to go ahead and work on this path a little bit, make it, you know, nice and neat, and then after that we'll go from there. There we go. I think that actually looks pretty snazzy. Alrighty, let's see if we can get some pigs on the board. Okay, and they do like a little bit of short grass, so I figure we'll give some to them. However, definitely right now... Ooh, not scenic view, my goodness. Explore mode, there we go. So I think we need a little bit of light and a little bit of water. So I don't want to do like a river or anything like that. I want to do just little puddles. Try and create something more like a mud wallow. I believe that's basically what my editor suggested to me. Yeah, I think something like that might look good. Let's check with their room. Yeah, that one's gonna get moved. That's okay. And we're still doing pretty good on terrain. Good. We do have a little bit too much rock. Still. That's easily mended. And then we can go through and just add little splashes of grass here and there where they make sense. There we go. And I guess now we'll do a little bit of plant work. No, we don't need tundra. So we'll do temperate, grassland, taiga. Actually, no, we won't. We rolled temperate, didn't we? Okay. Now we do have options for continents. I'm pretty sure that this is due to one of the mods that I have installed expanding it. I believe the only one that they actually had available was Europe. So limiting ourselves to that. Actually we've got a pretty good selection, so we'll start working with this. Okay, well that actually took, like, no time at all. It looks alright. This is pretty good. Okay, let's double check and make sure that our pigs can actually traverse what we've thrown down. It's getting a little bit tight, but they do have full roaming ability. Does look pretty good. The only thing that's really blocking them is I used some of the corn. And that really does seem to be it. It looks like they can pass through the cattails just fine. So, if need be, we can reduce some of the corn, I think. Yeah, and that brings up their traversability quite nicely. Okay, so honestly, I think this is probably good. It's really lush. I don't think it really needs anything more. Looks fine to me. Like, we can go a little bit further. We can add a little bit more coverage, but for the most part, it looks like a swamp. The only thing I really want to do at this point is kind of mess with the water. In order to do that, of course, we're going to need to mess with the lighting just a little bit so I can see what we're messing with. Like, what we're actually working with here. There we go. Yeah, I think kind of a muddy, swampy brown is going to be appropriate. Like, it's not pretty. It'll do. Yeah, that looks like a wetlands. Good enough. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and get their enrichment. It does look like one of our pigs is injured. We're gonna have to call the vet. There we go. Definitely don't want an injured animal out on display. Or, no, you're not. it registered it as injured. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. We'll have the vet come and look at them just to make sure that they're actually, like, okay. Alright, there we go. Enrichment. So we've got a few options here. I think definitely this fruit tree spike is going to be good. Let's get a veggie jelly cake. And maybe a melon feeder. Yeah, and then just a little bit of toy enrichment. Probably a sprinkler, I think would look really, really cool here. And, you know what? Let's just do a box. There we go. Or actually, we don't need that much. So maybe just a herb scent marker? Yeah, that pushes us over. Okay. I think that will be plenty then. They're going to have water. The water will be, you know, cycled out and cleaned. Let's put down just a generic food trough for them over by the entrance here. And I believe we are good to go. So, alright, yeah, I think this is going to be the whole habitat. I know it's not exactly, like... We're not really leaning into the wizard vibe, but the rest of the zoo is well and truly doing that in spades right now. Definitely what we do have is we've got some interesting viewing up there, and then this habitat, I think, I mean, for as little time as it took, I think it looks good, you know? It's just a bit of a muddy swamp area, but it's lush. It feels like, you know, they've got plenty of food and a decent habitat and, you know, all that kind of stuff, so... I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, we've already got our snake up there. There's really not much we can do for the enrichment, or not the enrichment, exhibit animals, so this is really going to be our focus. But yeah, gonna call it there. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that y'all have enjoyed this weirdly simple to throw together episode. I really was not expecting this to come together that quickly. And yeah, I hope that you'll join us for the next one. For my people who are going to stick around for the wheel, we will of course be doing that shortly, but for everybody else, stay safe, have fun, and happy building. Alrighty, my picker wheel peeps. We are back. You know the deal. We've already seen, you know, if we get another exhibit animal, we'll just throw it in one of the exhibits we've already built. Let's hope for a good habitat animal. 3, 2, 1. Ooh! Okay, we got one of the new animals. We're getting spurred tortoises. So, I think spurred tortoises blend with other animals pretty nicely. So I'm gonna see what they're compatible with, and then depending on whether or not they're compatible, we might be getting a second animal. And honestly, considering how simple tortoises are to build for, we might need a second animal. Let me do some research real quick. I'll come back and we'll find out if we're gonna get a 2-for-1. Okay, so based on what it says in game, the only thing that the spurred tortoise is apparently gonna share its habitat with is the Dama gazelle. It's surprising. I thought that it would have, frankly, more. Like, I feel like we could probably put them in with the elephants and they'd be just fine. Let's go find out, right? Yeah, I mean, like, really do kind of feel like we should be having the turtles in with the elephants. But maybe not. Maybe not. Tell you what, let's go ahead and spin the wheel a second time. And if that animal ends up being something that's either A, compatible, or B, simple to do, then we're going to do a 2-for-1. And if not, then that'll just be for the episode after. Sound good? Sound good. Okay. Okay, so we've got spurred tortoise. I'll hit done. Spin again. Oh, and perfect, 9-banded armadillo. Yeah, those two things are really simple, honestly. They're not necessarily compatible with each other, but they're not going to take a ridiculous amount of time, so. we'll have a 2-for-1 episode next time, guys. Sound good? Okay, cool. All right. Y'all have a great day. Take care of yourselves. See you later. Oh, poor baby. Aren't we just a sad little guy? Just a sad, poor little baby. Full of hopes and dreams and emotions.